Hi, everyone. I'm Tashay with Nerd Alert News, and we are here with Brandi Burkhardt. How are you, Brandi?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
Hi, you're welcome. I'm so glad to be talking with you.
Me too.
To start with, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and why you do what you do?
Sure. Well, I'm an actress and a singer, and I guess I do what I do because that's what I do. I mean, I feel like I didn't know who I was until I learned that I could sing, and then I kind of opened up this whole new way of expressing myself, and that led into acting, which I kind of feel was a little bit of an exercise in getting to know myself better. But it's been exciting to be able to go from medium to medium and explore many different characters and also myself and take a little piece of those people with me as I go. I've been on Heart of Dixie. I played cricket. I was on a soap opera called Passions. I was a singing mermaid called Siren. And I've been on Broadway as Sophie in Mamma Mia. And I played Lucy in A Tale of Two Cities and many, many others.
I didn't know you were on Passions. I used to watch that with my grandmother all the time.
I know that's a kind of a deep dive, but yeah, wonderful time. That was a great, great show.
Who did you play?
I played Siren. She was a mermaid.
Oh, okay, okay.
Tabitha conjured her from a storybook, and it's funny because I just found my first contract, and the testing rules. So you had to go for a screen test, and they did your contract before you went in for your screen test, so the deal would be done. But the character was named Ariel at the time, and I think I intuitively knew that she was going to be a mermaid, even though they weren't telling anybody that. So I like did my hair in these like funny like little mermaid dreadlocky things, but like it was like very beachy but very seaweedy as well. So I always think if I have the right hairstyle, it helps. Yeah, but
That's part of that's part of the, concoction. It has to be.
right, it's part of the costume.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, tell us about your role in the movie Friendship. How did you become involved in the film and what drew you to it?
Oh my gosh. Well, when I got the audition, I realized I knew it was a scene with Paul Rudd, and I could hear I could actually it was again one of those things like I could intuitively tell that like hold on, I know who this person is. And then I like read it. Sometimes I'll just go right for the material and I won't read the whole thing. But then I went back and I read the whole breakdown. It's called. They give you all of the information about the character and who you're playing with, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a scene with Paul Rudd. I can't wait. So I was like locked and loaded for that one.
I love that.
Yeah.
What was your experience like during filming for that?
It was so incredible. So the day before was the AFC Championship game for football, and it was Kansas City versus the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm from Baltimore. So we had suffered a big loss. But when I got to the makeup trailer that morning, Paul Rudd is a Kansas City fan. So we immediately had an icebreaker, and from that moment on, it was just like fun, fun all day. Yeah.
I love that. I can imagine it'd be so much fun working with him.
Oh, it really was. And it was sweet. He talked about his daughter and, obviously Taylor Swift and like going to a Taylor Swift concert. So it was sweet to see all the sides of him. Actually, the Ghostbuster trailer dropped that day too. So, and I don't think he knew. So I got to tell him his trailer was out.
Well,
Yeah.
so what was it like working with such an comedic ensemble like Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson and Kate Mara?
Well, I was a little like worried how much like improv was going to be going on because you want to do what the script says and service the script and like oh what's going to happen and you have to be ready for anything. And we actually stuck pretty closely to the script until the end of the day when we got to kind of play a little more. But by that time, I had warmed up, so I felt quite comfortable. Um, and it's funny because Kate Mara is typically like a dramatic actress, and it was really wonderful to watch her work too. She was so thoughtful and deep and emotive. She really became like kind of the heart of the show of the film to me.
Yeah, I watched the movie last night because I hadn't seen it yet, and she was so incredible in it.
And it's
You
so
were too as
special.
well.
Well, thanks. I was so thankful I actually went to see it in Maryland with my family, and I was like, oh, are they gonna laugh, or is it just because people are being nice? And they laughed, so I was like, yes.
So, are there any behind the scenes moments you can tell us about?
Oh, well, watching Paul change into that, well, spoiler, I think he had to change a costume during the scene, so that was a little tricky. Other than that, it was kind of like straightforward. I was surprised at how business as usual it was, but then the business is being fun and like yeah. So it was really interesting day. And there were a lot of extras on set too, and because we're in a studio setting, it was hard to tell who was crew and who was an actor. So that was pretty funny.
I like that. So let's dive into your music. The singles so far feel cinematic in both production and storytelling. Did your experiences in film and theater shape how you approached writing those?
Well, I think I can't really get away from it because it's just kind of what I've put into myself, right? So, yeah, I mean, I find myself in the studio all the time thinking, oh, that sounds like, somebody's in space, and then this happens, and then it expands, and like so, I feel I like start making pictures in my head or the sounds start to elicit some pictures or
Mhm.
and so I just go with it. So yeah, I definitely lean into the cinematic thing, especially when you're writing, it's just helpful to like be able to ground in something. Yeah.
Right, be able to ground and see what you're doing and then turn it into something.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes when I'm in the studio too, I try to come in with an idea, but I don't want to be like muscling the idea because you want to be in a kind of receptive mode and like open to the creativity in the room. So when I'm working with my producer, sometimes he'll be like, "Oh, hey, you know what? I kind of want to keep going in this direction, even though you have more lyrics. And but what happens if we don't do those lyrics? And what are you feeling now?" And so just being ready to experiment like that, that's definitely been something that's come later in my career as I've gotten a little older and bolder, I like to say.
So the music you have, it blends nostalgic synth pop with like a modern emotion. Was there a specific era or artist that influenced the sound?
I really love 80s pop and I love all those synths and yeah, I tried to kind of walk a fine line because I didn't want to go too retro, but I just love that stuff so much. Like I mean, I don't know why Samantha Fox is popping into my head all of a sudden. It's a throwback. What is it? What did she sing? Like, was it I wanna have some fun? I don't remember.
I think so.
Anyway, it's like all of those ladies. It's also like some Janet Jackson. It's also like, I mean, it was just so fun getting to explore. And I like to think of it in colors. So I love like some neon pink and some turquoise blue and so I think of it in terms of that as well. So
I love that. Actually, when I listened to it the first time, the first thing I thought of was like that 80s kind of feel. And I'm like, that's actually why I asked the question. I'm like, I wonder if that's where it came from.
yeah. And then there was this like show when I was growing up called Gem and the Holograms. I think I've always just wanted to be Gem and the Holograms.
I love
She
that
was like
show.
a businesswoman and she like turned into a pop star. So I was like, oh, this is my moment. This is my
Yeah,
chance.
I love Jim.
Yeah, Gem's the best.
So you described this EP as a journey towards trusting your voice, your instincts, and timing. Was there a specific turning point in your life that inspired this arc?
Oh, I actually had a record deal situation early on in my career, actually, before I did Passions, and it didn't quite work out. Thankfully, I was in kind of a bad management situation, and those stories are so numerous. So I had taken a turn into acting and just like didn't look back, and I was happily doing that. And had always just thought that music would come back around and that I would get a chance to do that. And I guess it took the world stopping in 2020 to think, oh, okay, wait a second, what haven't I done that I'd like to do? And that way, that just gave me also the time to really put my focus there. And I didn't feel like I was giving up on anything else. You know, when you have that like free, open road in front of you, what do you want to do with your time? I was like, oh, well, this is something that I've always wanted to do. So now's the time.
It's crazy, we all complain about 2020, but like I've talked to so many people where it's like that was the moment that they realized, you know what? Maybe I can do this thing that I've been putting off for so long.
Yeah, I think we don't realize how much in the rat race we are, or how much our programming just begets the same thing that we've been doing. And when you really do have to stop and think about, like, oh, well, wait a minute, what am I doing? Or what can I do? It's just important to ask the question because you can do anything you want.
Exactly. Just got to
So,
put your mind to it.
exactly.
So vulnerability is like a core part of this record, it seems like. Is there a track that felt most exposing to share with the world and why?
It's funny you're asking that now. So I just switched the release schedule. So there's a song called Stay the Night that was supposed to come out August
Hmm.
22nd, but it felt a little too exposing to me. And so I switched, and it also makes sense because the vibe of the song that's coming out on August 27th is called Up All Night. That one feels more summertime. So I saved the more vulnerable one that makes me feel a little knots in my stomach for September. So yeah, I just talk in a different way than I usually talk. It's a moment, and
Hmm.
you know when you're putting your name on something, uh, and it encapsulates just an idea of a moment. You know, it feels very final in a certain way. So I think that's what made me balk at it a little, but it's still coming up.
Well, I can't wait to
I'm
hear it.
committed to it. Yes.
So, but bring that up, that made me think of something. It looks like the way that you're releasing these tracks is almost like chapters. What was your thought process behind that?
I didn't realize I was writing them this way, but I just have gotten out of a long-term relationship, and I realized how I was looping back into this same pattern. And really, this has become a kind of a cathartic moment of me being able to look at it from the outside and say, "Oh, I see what was going on there, and why it took me a while to get out of the loop." So then I kind of kept riffing on that idea and I said, oh, this is all part of the same story. And I was writing them all during this time. So it really did feel cohesive when I was able to step out of it. It's hard to have perspective inside of it, but when you kind of put it outside, you're like, okay, wait a second, I see what's happening here.
Yeah, you kind of get that outside looking in vibe, and then you see your path.
Yes, yes. And so it's kind of been interesting too to step back into that and to tell those stories because I'm like, oh no, I want to be a new person. I'm a new person already. But I still, that's very much a vulnerable part is kind of telling it and feeling okay stepping back into it that it's not gonna the loop's not gonna get me again.
Right, it's not going to get you again, and you can take it as a way to see how much you've grown and how much you've healed since the reason you were writing these songs happened.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm such a sucker for nostalgia. I love it. So, and it's always the moment that we've made it up to be, right? It's not really, we don't
Exactly.
remember all the things. We just remember the good things. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So
So, what's one thing you learned about yourself while making this EP that you're carrying forward into your career?
I think it's a lot about my strength. In facing myself. I think that's been hard for me and especially as an actress, you have to kind of put on a lot of different faces. But I really feel grateful to have confronted these fears essentially and like be able to move on without them owning me. Now I own it. It's just kind of flipping it on its head a little. Um, and I hope I can keep on that path. I mean, I think I can. It's like you can't unring the bell. So I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
So, other than the EP, are there any other upcoming projects that you can tell us about? Maybe give us a little insider sneak peek.
I have some things in the works. I'm excited about the EP release party. I think that's actually going to happen in November, even though the the EP is released October 17th. But I also I'm excited to go back to California. I'm singing the national anthem for the Dodgers. So that'll be really
Oh, that's
fun.
so
And
cool.
they're doing really well. So yeah, it's the last regular season game. So I'm excited about that.
That's really cool. Well, that is all that I have for you today. I really appreciate you stopping and giving us a minute of your time, Brandy. It was great getting to talk to you.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So, everyone, thank you for tuning in. And if you haven't heard Brandy's new music yet, you can find it on Spotify or wherever you get your music. The full EP drops October 17th with a whole list of singles coming your way before then. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.